Following his victory over Shibata Katsuya on the fields of Shitsugatake in 1583, nothing stood in the way of Hashiba Hideyoshi. Upon hearing the news of the victory, Tokugawa Ieyasu immediately sent a congratulatory envoy, presenting Hideyoshi with a prized horse as a sign of respect. However, this was not an act of submission. It was the beginning of a tactical probing to gauge the opponent's true strength. Hideyoshi intuitively knew that he could never truly become the ruler of the realm without overcoming the massive obstacle. That was Ieyasu. The following year in 1584, the two heroes clashed head-on the fields of Komaki and Nagakute. Tactically, Ieyasu seized the upper hand by crushing Hideyoshi's detached force. Strategically, however, Hideyoshi used political compromise to isolate and defeat Ieyasu's allies one by one, successfully bringing the war to an end. From this point, Hideyoshi moved beyond being a mere warlord, ascending to the pinnacle of political power. In 1585, after being granted the surname Toyotomi by the emperor and rising to the position of Kenpaku, he began making grand strategic moves to reshape the order of the realm, not with the sword, but with authority. Yet Hideyoshi still faced one final piece of unfinished business before he could truly claim the realm. Despite holding the highest imperial office, Ieyasu, the powerhouse of the Kanto region, still refused to bow down. In response, Hideyoshi sent his own younger sister to become Ieyasu's primary wife, and eventually went so far as to send his own birth mother as a hostage to Ieyasu's stronghold in Okazaki. Stripped of any justification to resist face-to-face in the wake of such extreme measures and pressure, Ieyasu finally traveled to Kyoto on October 27, 1586. There, he granted Hideyoshi an audience and paid formal homage as a vassal. Through this, Hideyoshi succeeded in absorbing Ieyasu, his most formidable rival in the Tokai region, into his sphere of influence without spilling a single drop of blood. With Ieyasu secured, Hideyoshi turned his gaze to the west. Chosokabe Motochika, who once ruled Shikoku, surrendered, followed by the powerful Shimazu clan of Kyushu, who knelt before Toyotomi's overwhelming military might. This was more than just a military victory. It was the process by which Hideyoshi's Sobujire became a powerful absolute law established across the entirety of Japan. Now only the prestigious Hojo clan of the Kanto region remained. For 5 generations, they had built and maintained the impregnable fortress of Odawara. They placed absolute faith in the strength of walls that had turned back even Takeda Shingen and Uesugi Kenshin decades prior. However, the siege Hideyoshi prepared was no ordinary assault. Marshaling a massive army of 200,000 men from across Japan, along with limitless provisions, he devised a strategy to break the enemy's spirit and force their surrender through an overwhelming display of sheer abundance. While the Hojo waited behind their walls for time to pass, Hideyoshi was busy mastering time itself. For about 80 days, Hideyoshi constructed a fortress atop Mount Kasagake, which overlooked Odawara Castle. During construction, he intentionally left the massive trees on the front of the mountain intact, completely concealing the building process from the Hojo forces below. Once the fortress was complete, Hideyoshi had all the front-facing trees cleared in a single night. The next morning, when the Hojo army looked up at the mountain, a massive stone wall and a main keep with a tiled roof appeared out of nowhere, where a forest had stood just the day before. Panic struck the Hojo forces, who whispered that Hideyoshi possesses supernatural powers to build a castle in a single night, which instantly broke their will to fight. In the misty morning of Odawara, the golden main keep emerging through the clearing fog was the most brutal mirage, completely shattering the Hojo's resolve to continue the war. In July 1590, after a 3-month siege, the Hojo clan finally chose to surrender, throwing open the gates of Odawara, which had been believed to be impregnable. With the downfall of the Hojo clan, the Sengoku period, a century of bloody chaos and vassals overthrowing their lords since the Onin War, finally came to an end. The monkey who started from the absolute bottom of society had ultimately bound all of Japan under a single banner. This was the exact moment the realm of the new sun, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, was complete.